Well, woohoo! Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to Open Mic here on the John Campea YouTube channel. I'm, of course, John Campea, joined, of course, over here by Chris Carr. And Robert Meyer Burnett is in the back watching porn on his phone.
Yeah.
He's trying to pretend like he's not, but we know that he is.
He's never seen his own work.
I know. Like
Sus.
That is the most sus thing that's happened all day.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's for a conversation for another time. It's good to have you guys here today. So, of course, Open Mic, we just started this up again this week.
Yeah.
It has replaced Mailbag, where we get together and talk live. It's a much more, let's just say it's a little more laid back than the main show that we do in the day.
More freewheeling.
And we mostly just take your guys' live comments and questions. The super chats are already open, but apparently they're almost full already. So you probably got maybe 30 seconds to fire in another comment or question if you'd like to. And that's what we're going to spend most of today doing, just hearing from you guys. But before we do, I wanted to revisit something that we talked about a little bit on the John Campea Show earlier, because there's a part of it that we didn't really touch on. So this morning, for those of you guys who missed it, we talked about the fact that Netflix, boom, surprise, they surprised everybody by dropping a bonus episode of Sandman. And wasn't it in two parts, Rob?
Yes, it's a two-part episode.
Two-part episode. So now how many episodes officially were there before this bonus one?
10.
10 episodes. So it was a 10-episode series. Everybody watched. Yay, there it is. We watched Sandman. Yay. And then all of a sudden, boom, another episode drops. And obviously that made Rob very ghibli. He got very, very...
He was so emotional.
He was very happy. It made the cockles of my heart all warm, seeing how happy.
That's the text I woke up to. Was like,
Yeah.
I'm crying. I'm so happy.
Little Robbie on Christmas morning
Little
was so
Bobbert
happy.
filled with joy.
And
It was.
so we talked about that and how great that was. But the part we didn't kind of bring up was this. Is this something that other streamers should do or that Netflix should repeat? And I say that because of this. I know our instant reaction. And by the way, I just noticed that Frankie Gouge gifted 5 memberships to other people watching the chat right now.
Frankie.
Thank you, Frankie. That's very generous of you, man. So tip of the hat to you, Frankie. On the surface, the answer to that question is obviously yes. I mean, if a show is going and we like it, then yeah, drop a thing. But is there a downside? And this is what I was thinking about, Chris, is that when post-credit scenes started happening, I mean, really, for me, I mean, they were running bloopers on, what is it, Smokey and the Bandit? I think, or Cannonball Run.
Yeah.
They were running like bloopers over, but I mean, like post-credit scenes. The first thing I think about is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's the first one I think of. But once Marvel started doing them too, like they're great. Everybody's excited about them. But then we come to expect them. And I was just crying and whining earlier today on the show about the fact that sometimes Disney Plus show happened and I stick around and I watch all 7 minutes of credits and they don't have an end credit scene. And I was whining about that earlier today. But it's because it's no longer a bonus surprise. We expect it. It's like it's a normal thing. So I started thinking about that. It's like, okay. But are we going to start expecting an extra episode? Are we setting ourselves up for disappointment if we're watching Mandalorian season 3 and the 8th episode comes and goes and that's it, but we're all still sitting by our TVs for the next week or so refreshing Disney Plus going, come on, where's that bonus 9th episode? It's got to come any second now. Like, I don't know. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Do you think we're setting ourselves up for disappointment? What do you think?
I mean, that's a good point because we don't want to become Angelica Schuyler. We don't want to not ever be satisfied. Right? So
I love that. love the Greatest Showman reference.
When we can bring musical theater together with that, we can have all those things happen. I mean, I think you just have to use it sparingly because like what we talked about on the show here with Netflix, one, they're already kind of with their marketing.
Yeah, that's true.
But with streaming, you do have the ability to drop things whenever you want because you're not beholden to a time slot to, sponsors and things like that.
Airtime, you got a book and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So I think it's smart to do it. And so I think that you just have to do it, with some rhyme and reason. If every single show starts having a random episode drop. If Love is Blind starts giving me mystery episodes, I mean, I would tune into them. I'm not going to lie. But we just need to be careful with what we're doing because I think it's really fun. I think it's really exciting to just take something, especially that's done so well like the Sandman, and then give us a little extra bonus, a little extra taste to make us want a season 2. Ooh, I love that.
Because I was asking on the show today which Disney Plus show it was that we all kind of thought maybe there could be a surprise episode, and a bunch of people in the live chat said it was WandaVision, which I buy. I mean, it could have been for other ones too. It's like, what if they get the bonus episode, whatever, to set something up? So I don't know. It could be a good thing or a bad thing. I just ask you guys, what do you think? Like, if more streamers on more of their shows started doing these quote unquote surprise bonus episodes, could it have the negative effect that we start to expect it? And like when we get to the final episode of a season, we don't mentally really accept it as the final episode of the season. And we kind of, I don't know, do we run the risk of something? What do you guys think about it? Jump into the comments and let us know, or fire in a question and let us know. All right. That all said, now let's get into the main crux of today's show, which is just hearing from you guys. So, Chris, what are people asking?
All right, from Jared W. I get that any Hulk solo movie would need to be distributed by Universal. But what actually is a solo movie? Is it screen time or something else?
I think it's plain. I think it's plain and obvious. Like, we as an audience member, we watch Thor Ragnarok. We know that's a Thor movie. Like, we don't have to measure time things, and it becomes clear and apparent. And I think if somebody wrote in on the show earlier today, it's like, well, I mean, what if they did a World War Hulk, but they called it an Avengers movie, right? It's like, yeah, you're not going to win that in front of a judge. Like, you're going to put that in front of a judge, and a judge is instantly going to go, yeah, it's pretty clear this is a Hulk movie. You can call it whatever you want, but clearly you have violated the contract, right? So you can try to find little dipsy-doo loopholes, but at the end of the day, it's going to get litigated, and then it's going to be put in front of a judge or a jury, and they're going to be able to clearly see, like, you're not going to be able to pull a fast one. And then not only are you going to get sued by the other company, then the court is going to hammer you with punitive damages as well, and it gets messy.
Well, and the court of public opinion. We're all going to get real pissy if we're like, this isn't an Avengers movie.
Yeah, that's that too. All right, what's next?
From Darth Raider. If Disney Plus was a thing 12 years ago, do you think they would have made a CA, Steve Rogers, or Iron Man TV show, or just kept them on the big screen? So a Captain America movie or an Iron Man TV show?
Nope. They wouldn't have put them on TV. They would have kept, those were their big hitters. I mean, even though at the time, a lot of people, myself included, looked at Iron Man as a B-list character.
Oh, same.
They knew that for what they had available, because Spider-Man wasn't available to them and stuff, the X-Men weren't available to them. Those were their heavy hitters. And I think even if Disney Plus was around then, I still believe they would have saved those for the big screen. I don't know, do you?
I think so. Well, and especially, I know we've got real star power now on Disney Plus.
Yeah, now we do.
And even though Iron Man was a resurgence really for Robert Downey Jr., I don't think that you'd get him on a TV show. I don't know. I just feel like Iron Man wouldn't have worked as a TV show.
Yeah, it worked way better as a movie. Yeah. All right, what's next?
From Jonathan Vigoa. How do I send a member chat? Can't figure it out.
No, you see, if you're a channel member, and by the way, I'm not an expert on this, but if you're a channel member, one of the members of the John Campea channel, you signed up for a membership, then what happens is YouTube gives you, I believe it's one free member chat to send in a month. Now, once that comes around, I think YouTube will notify you when you're and that's the beginning of every month, I believe, or something like that. Other people who are channel members, let them know how that works. But just so you know, and so everybody knows, we don't have Ray in here monitoring member chats for any shows other than the John Campea Show. So if you've got a member, your monthly member chat is sitting there ready to go, you might want to save that for the John Campea Show, unless you just want to fire it in on anything for the other viewers to read and see. Otherwise, save those for the John Campea Show because we don't have Ray in here monitoring them, unfortunately. But that's how that works. They're so not just available to you anytime. It's like once a month you can do that. All right, what's next?
From Sam Fisher, I like press play or must watch. Maybe press play more because of the alliteration, but the show feels too generic, and I think I've heard must watch before.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, I actually put up a poll for our channel members. We are narrowing down the options for what the new name of the John Campea Show and the John Campea YouTube channel are going to be. I do not want my name in the name of the show or the channel anymore because, I'm not going to be here forever. So I want to take my name off that and everything. And so we've narrowed it down, and I gave three options to our channel members to vote in a poll. And the options were the show, press play, or must watch. Right now, I will tell you, as of this moment, I just put up this poll a little bit earlier today just for our channel members. And right now, 240 of our channel members have voted. And by the way, we are not beholden to the results of this poll. I'm just putting it out there to get a sense. But right now, Press Play is ahead by a mile. Press Play has 49% of the votes. Must Watch, which I also like that name I like both of these names very much, has 33%. And The Show trails up in third place with 18%. So that's where that is at right now. So it's going to be, I thought Must Watch and Press Play would be closer.
Yeah.
I really do like Press Play. There's a part of me that wonders if it's a good or bad thing that our abbreviation for that is PP.
I think it fits.
Welcome to the PP Show.
I feel like that's very on brand.
Are you ready to PP?
Guys want a pee-pee?
I mean, it works. You
As
know
long as we fit in a golden shower segment, we're good to go.
You think that'd be a 5-minute segment called the Golden Shower? It'll be about Oscars. We'll be about the Oscars. We'll call it Golden Shower.
Don't tease me.
Welcome to
things
PP.
that might not happen.
It's time for the Golden Shower. So yeah.
That has to be facilitated by Rob.
All right. What's next?
I concur.
From Chloe Fanning. Does the Beast movie have the same kind of tension buildup that Cujo has? I loved Cujo. I've not seen Beast yet.
Oh yeah, Cujo's a classic. It's my dad loves that movie too. No, it's not a buildup. It's just here it is. Tension is here it is. It has arrived. Yeah, so it's not like the movie starts off like that. Like again, you meet the family. They're on vacation as a family after the death of the mother, and they're visiting, and then boom, it starts. It's not a slow buildup. It's just there, and then it's there till the rest of the movie. It's a lot of fun. Again, it's not going to win any Oscars, other than maybe visual effects, but. Yeah, but it's a fun time. I had a good time.
Might have some golden showers, but
yeah, it's no golden shower or anything. Yeah, it's not going to receive any golden showers, but hey, you know. All right, what's next?
From Pizza Time, in Marvel Comics, mutants are actually descendants of the Deviants, Eternals. Do you think this could factor into their MCU origins?
Okay, let's be very clear on something, Pizza Time. That's changed a lot. There might be some, and Rob, like you can yell into here on this, but like the origins of the mutants being descendants of deviants, like that's all been changed. And it's been changed and done several times. So I don't even know that you can say that. Listen, to me, that's not what mutants are.
Yeah,
that's not it. And I feel fairly certain they'll steer away from that again at some time in the future.
I also just think from the perspective of what mutants deal with and what they're an allegory for, having them be descendants of deviants, that's already the struggle of the mutant, is being a blight on society, of being an abnormality. And I think that labeling him that way, like officially, already makes your viewership against them in a way, because the word deviant has a very negative connotation to it.
Well, and just the whole basics idea of X-Men and mutants is just the natural evolutionary process of humanity. And yeah, so, but again, they've changed it before, they'll change it again. It's, all that stuff. All right, what's next?
From, oops, that's okay. From Jonathan again. I still can't figure it out on the John Campea Show either, LOL. Oh, the member chat.
Again, chat with other channel members in the chat there, because I've never used it myself. So they'll probably be able to help you out there. All right, what's next?
From Bill's HQ. I think closing some theaters will be one step towards better success for Regal. There's 5 Regals in a 30-mile radius of me in Buffalo, on top of the AMCs and mom and pop theaters. I love Regal.
Well, I mean, yes and no. Remember, like they do a lot of studies and they crunch a lot of numbers and do a lot of spreadsheets about, are we getting business in those theaters? And like, here's the thing, you take away one of those theaters, that doesn't necessarily mean the business that was going to that theater will now go to another Regal theater. They may just turn around and go to a closer Landmark theater or a Cinemark or a Regal or a AMC or something like that. So it's not as simple as just, close down a couple and whatever. It's not that easy.
We had to look at this in marketing class back in the day. I have an actual degree, everyone. Oh my gosh, it's wild. That Starbucks, right? They found that the closer they put their buildings together, the more businesses they attracted, because it was a convenience thing. So you still had your Starbucks. It might be 0.2 miles away from another one, but you don't have to travel a further 0.2 miles. Yeah. So it actually encouraged business to come up between both of those.
For any
neighborhood one.
For anybody watching who is Canadian, only you will understand this. if you think there's a lot of Starbucks, that's adorable. In Canada, particularly like where I'm from in Ontario, like the Hamilton, Toronto area, but particularly Hamilton, I took Anne, when I take her home, we got this one part in town, at a intersection, 3 of the 4 corners had Tim Hortons on them.
Yeah.
3 of the 4 corners. It got to the point that like my dad was like the big commissioner of engineering for the city and all that kind of stuff. It got to the point where the road commission and the engineers, they started referring to locations by Tim Horton branches. Like it's like all over the place. But yes, that's a very
Houston,
good point.
we had 2 that faced each other in Riverside where we were just like, oh, okay.
Seriously?
Yeah, where
Oh
you're
my
just like,
God.
which Starbucks you want to go to?
All right, what's next?
From Cali Royale 92, more redeemable, Wanda or Magneto?
Which iteration of Magneto?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Which iteration of Magneto? I mean, at least with Magneto, and depending on the Magneto you're talking about the comics Magneto? If so, which version of the comics Magneto? Are you talking about the movie Magneto? If so, are you talking about Ian McKellen Magneto? Or are you talking about Michael Fassbender Magneto? It's hard to say. Wanda is tough. She has murdered a lot of people now. Like she's crossed that thing. And to me, the descent of Wanda Maximoff has been one of the more fascinating things in the MCU. Like, I know there are some people who cried and complained about like when she broke bad, but it's like, have you not been paying attention to the MCU? Like this is the path that Wanda Maximoff has been on. Everything has been leading to this. And right at the end of WandaVision, it became clear, like this is the path she's on. When you have somebody who is as broken and in as much pain and has suffered as much loss, these are all classic supervillain origin story elements. And so when they finally crossed that line in Doctor Strange, to me, it was actually, I don't love Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, but I love what they did with Wanda. Can she, well, listen, she'll never be on the lunchbox again. I think like to use the vernacular, she'll never be on the lunchbox again. So, and I think maybe she can be redeemed in the sense that Darth Vader was redeemed in the fact that, like, look, if Vader didn't die at the end of Return of the Jedi, he was either going to be executed or locked up for life. Like, you can say he was redeemed, and that's great for his, getting to be a Force ghost later. But as far as the rest of the universe is concerned, like, okay, that's great. We're so happy that you saved your son. You're going on trial, and that would have happened. So, So anyway, that's it's very difficult for either of them because I don't know which Magneto we're talking about. And with Wanda, that's a. What would have been a more interesting one was probably Wanda or Killmonger.
Ooh.
Wanda.
Because I don't think, I actually think
Wanda's more redeemable.
Yeah, I think Wanda's more redeemable there, even though it's tough to call her
still
redeemable.
Personal familial things, but the reaction to it is a little less egregious.
Yeah. All right, let's do another one. What's next?
All right, from Aaron Epstein. I watched most of the 80s classic on recorded VHS tapes my dad made. Curious if there are any movies you watched for the first time on recorded VHS.
On recorded VHS. Monty Python and Quest for the Holy Grail. Oh. I saw that on recorded VHS. My buddy had a copy of it. That was, I remember that. That was for me. What about you?
I have a real cute one because then Logan gave me like an updated version of this when we were still just dating. My dad made a compilation of all Christmas specials that would show up on TV.
No.
So it was, like
Rudolph
Christmas Claymation and Rudolph and Garfield's Christmas and all this stuff. And I also had a Disney one of like Saturday morning Disney cartoons with like The Little Mermaid and Cowboys of Moo Mesa and all of that stuff. And then Logan got me a little USB drive with all of those things on it. So that I could watch them.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
That's really cute.
Mine was Spaceballs.
Spaceballs.
And I'm pretty sure my mom still has the recorded VHS, of Spaceballs in their closet somewhere.
See, Spaceballs I definitely watched on VHS, but it wasn't a recorded VHS.
I own
it still has
physical
all the
media of
old
that.
commercials at the time too. So
Oh my God.
Though that going back to Christmas things, it's the only way Logan will watch A Christmas Story is if it has commercials because of watching it on TNT as a kid.
Because that's how we remember watching it.
Funny.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll bring in Robert Meyer Burnett as we do. We're going to thank the sponsor of today's episode of Open Mic, keeping you smooth and fresh as ever, our friends at Manscaped. We want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Manscaped. Now, guys, I love Manscaped. You've heard me go on and on about the Lawnmower 4.0 and that body wash, I love it so much. And so we gotta ask, guys, have you started your spring cleaning yet? The carpets need cleaning, the drapes need dusting, and your lawn needs mowing, gentlemen. And you guys know Manscaped isn't more than just one product. They have a whole lineup of products to help you guys feeling, smelling, and looking your best. And so Manscaped is proud to present to you the Performance Package 4.0, which is the only tool that you need to keep your boys looking, smelling, and feeling good this spring. Now, to start off with, you get the Lawnmower 4.0. Guys, we have talked about this. What is wrong with us? Why have we for so long been using these terrible tools that were never meant for cutting our hair down there? The razor clipper things on our electric razors. That's barbaric, guys. You need the Lawnmower 4.0. And then there's the Weed Whacker. You guys have heard our own Ray Ora talk about this thing. He loves using it to get that hair in your nose and the ear hair. And then they offer lots of other stuff like the Crop Preserver. It's an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. The Crop Reviver. It's a spray-on toner for your balls. And of course, they've got the perfect grooming tool for your face with the Plow 2.0, the perfect razor for the finest shave on that face. So guys, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code CAMPEA. That's CAMPEA at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the promo code Campea at manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. And thank you to our friends at Manscaped for sponsoring this episode. All right, guys, with that, Robert Meyer Burnett has tagged in.
Wow.
Robert.
It's amazing how I just showed up here.
Just in and out, just like that. Nope. I'm not going to follow that up. All right, what is next?
Josh Becker is next. He says, why do studios make films that are destined to fail?
I mean, here's the thing. Nobody makes a film that is destined to fail. Everybody thinks they have the next Oscar winner in their hand.
Yes, they do.
Hey, Rob, you and I were talking about the screenplay for Clash of the Titans, the remake Clash of the Titans.
Yes.
And I had gotten my hands on that script like a year before the movie came out, and I thought it read amazing.
Yeah.
I read it, and I'm like, this is going to be a great movie. And then the movie came out, and yep, that's the movie. Boy, it did not play out anywhere near as good as it did in my head.
No.
And that's the thing. Everybody thinks making a movie's easy. It's incredibly difficult.
No, John, I've always thought that there's a bit of alchemy. There's magic in it, like Rumpelstiltskin spinning straw into gold. There, you can have all the elements, and everybody's an Oscar winner, everybody's the best at their game. But for some reason, sometimes things just don't gel. Or the director's not the best person for that material, even though he's a great director, or they're a great director, she's a great director. And it doesn't work for whatever reason.
All right, what's next?
Josh Becker says, I start my first film classes next week.
Oh, that's exciting, man. Congratulations on that. I hope you have a lot of fun doing that, man.
I think
That's
you
great.
will.
All right, what's next?
A fan of Peanuts says, hello, guys. Just watched for the first time The Hunt for Red October.
I would have
The
liked to
Dirty
visit
Dozen and
Montana.
On the Waterfront.
Oh,
Marlon
wow.
Brando's insanely great in it. Those are three awesome. I mean, you got two war films, and then you've got a classic character study.
I mean,
Could've
look,
been a contender.
everybody, obviously, mostly today, everybody, when you think of Marlon Brando, people obviously go to The Godfather. But there are strong arguments to be made that maybe his best performances were either On the Waterfront or Streetcar Named Desire, or like everybody forgets about those. And it's understandable because Godfather could arguably be the greatest film of all time. But like, I'm curious, when you
Last
think of
Tango in Paris.
Last Tango in Paris, when you think of Marlon Brando, what's the first movie that comes to your head? I mean, for me, it is Godfather, but
Island of Dr. Moreau.
The Freshman. No, you know what? Honestly, it's a movie called The Wild One, where he plays a biker, and it's only because I actually have, believe it or not, a Marlon Brando hot toy of The Wild One. So I see him. And it's funny when I think about it, John. I also think about Superman the movie because I think about Jor-El.
yeah, here's Jor-El.
I have. It's so weird. I probably have 6 hot toys of figures of Marlon Brando.
Wow,
Which is weird. Of all the characters, all the actors, you'd think he'd be like the last one you'd think would have action figures. But I've got various Vito Corleones, I've got Jor-El, I've got the Wild One. I mean, it's weird.
Nice. All right, what's next?
What a weird thing. Suthius says, with the introduction of Kang and his history with Tony in the comics, do you think he paved the only path that would kill Tony to get him out of the picture for what's to come in phase 5 and or 6?
I think that's really stretching. I think that's trying to look way too far into it. Like, again, we can say comics, and like we say on the show all the time, the comics, the MCU is the MCU. They are two different things. I don't know. What would you say?
I agree with you because they would have shown us that. You know, they can't retroactively go and say, "Oh, Kang set him up the whole time," because that's not really fair to your viewers. You know, you got to give the audience time to see that kind of thing happening.
It was Kang all along. All right, what's next?
Harv's K says, the axe of Zaslav just fell on Sesame Street with HBO Max removing 200 episodes. I get these business decisions, but it's Sesame Street. Sometimes the greater good should outweigh some extra pennies saved.
You know, it's always the penny. It's always the people who are. It's not their pennies that say that.
Yeah.
I mean, I always make this joke because I do this too. Believe me, I'm guilty of this too. Everybody is an expert on what other people should do with their money.
Well, you know, I did think somebody was pointing out that, you know, the children's television workshop that creates Sesame Street, it was for public television.
Yes, it was publicly funded for a long time.
So it's weird that it's, you know, on HBO Max in the first place, but why would they get rid of only some episodes and not others?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I think what a lot of us always forget is that we think because we see a blog headline or we watch a YouTube video or whatever, that we actually know everything that went into that decision-making process. And the reality is we probably know like 10% of what's going on. It's like, obviously they didn't just sit around and go, I'm bored. Want to do something? Yeah, let's delete 200 episodes of Sesame Street. Yeah, okay, yeah, let's do it. Like, there's obviously reason behind it. And we just don't know what it is at this point. Now, I agree. Like, the confusing thing to me is like, okay, I get it if you don't want to be the network of Sesame Street anymore. I get that. Okay, I mean, it's still weird, but I get it, whatever. Why 200 episodes?
Maybe they're all the Snuffleupagus episodes.
He never existed.
He was never real. I mean, so I don't know, but all I know is that businesses on that level don't just do things without a reason.
No.
There's a reason for it. We just don't know what the reason
200
is.
least watched? I don't know.
Maybe they have other plans for it. Maybe they want to diversify. I mean, we just don't know.
Maybe they have a shared cinematic universe coming up.
Oh my
the
God.
Sesame Street universe.
And the polka dot door, you Americans don't know what that is, but all my Canadian viewers, you know what I'm talking about when I say the polka dot door, right? Damn right you do. All right, what's next?
Sounds pretty woke to me. Dr. Nova says, it's great to actually be able to watch a live show. You'll be seeing me live on a lot more, so be ready for deep cuts. Also, hi, Chris.
Hi, Dr. Nova. I mean, listen, I got to say, because Mailbag, it was great because people were able to send in questions any time of the day, 24/7, but I really like doing live. There's something more fun about doing. I'm able to read I've got the chat board in front of me, open up in front of me so we can read everybody's chats. There's just something more fun about doing it.
Well, the
live.
energy.
Yeah.
You know, the smartest thing, you were right. We were both doing the show for so long in our garages at not seeing each other. And then you wanted us to get back, and it's a whole different experience when you're in the room with people.
It's a lot of fun. All right,
it's a party every day. Andrew Murray says, tomorrow at Cineworld, my first pre-JJ Star Trek. I hope you mean, Andrew, Star Trek the motion picture.
If your Cineworld is still open tomorrow.
If your Cineworld's still... Oh.
Too soon.
I guess that would either be in the UK or he might be seeing Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Either way, you're a winner.
Yeah, I mean, because look, I think a lot of Cineworld was one of the world leaders in, especially when the pandemic came about, ushering in a lot of classic films. They also made the decision to just shut things down for a while, which probably is why they were able to stay alive. But good on. I love the opportunity of going back and watching classic movies on the big screen again. That's awesome.
Agreed.
Right, next.
Cali Royale 92 says, starting my own YouTube channel, all things dope. As a hobby mainly, you all have inspired me to contribute to the fandom. Any advice for a noob?
Whenever anybody asks me for advice and getting started, here's the best thing to do. Go onto YouTube and just search these 4 words: John Campea getting started. And the top 2 videos, one is a more recent one called How to YouTube, and one is getting started, like with me on the cover of this, getting started in blogging, podcasting, and YouTubing. That one is like over 2 hours long. So there's a lot of stuff there. That's the best advice I can give, is go and check those videos out.
There you go.
What's next?
Suthius says, I watched a bad movie roast of 1981's Roar, directed by Noel Marshall, and yeah, it's insane. The cast and crew were insane, and they were injured and even getting gangrene. Yeah, it's
Was that part of it? Because we were talking about that earlier today on the
it's
show.
all part of that. It's an insane story. It's a crazy.
Is Melanie Griffin the one who got gangrene?
No,
Certainly hope not.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think one of the crew members did.
Oh my god,
dude, it's crazy.
like this is still like the crazy. I still can't believe I haven't heard of this before.
I think you can watch it streaming.
All right, I'll look for it.
You got to look for it.
I'm definitely going to look for
crazy.
it. All right, what's next?
It's a crazy story. Sam Fisher says, Chris, can you explain why all the hate I see for Rings of Power when I Google it? I'm excited. I don't get it. I've never been steeped in Tolkien's mythology enough to see whatever people's problems is.
Hi, Sam. Well, one of the things that I think is happening that we've talked about a lot on this show is that it's a very loud minority who are very angry about seeing certain folks represented in Tolkien's universe. All you have to remember is that all of this is an allegory for World War I and II. So let that guide you and enjoy the show on your own. Don't let the haters get you down, my friend.
Wow. See, Chris answered that in a much more polite way than I would have.
Well, I thought that was lovely.
That was well done, Chris. And she does it with that happy Smurf-like tone.
It was like, yeah,
Just
sing
makes it
song. I love
beautiful
that.
to listen to. All right, what's next?
What a happy Friday she just made me have.
There you go.
Did we miss
Callie Royale 92 says, moment of silence for Zack Snyder's Nightmare Vision. Well,
it had its it had its.
Oh, there's short.
I really like Zack Snyder's Justice League, but you know,
I mean, hey, listen, I thought it was better than the theatrical version. It was, but I mean,
liked it.
It was. Here's the thing. Look, Zack Snyder's Justice League was a good movie.
Yeah.
No more, no less. It was a good movie. It's not a top 15 greatest comic book movies of all time. It was a good movie, and it had its moments. And there are other people, like, all movies are subjective, so there are going to be people who feel like maybe it was much better than that. There are certainly people who feel like it was much worse than that. And that's fine, whatever. But it wasn't The Godfather.
No.
All right, what's next?
Jay Master says, during an interview with Comic Book, Jerry Bruckheimer confirmed that he's working on a National Treasure 3 with Disney right now, and the script is really good, and shortly they will send it to Nicolas Cage.
Wait a minute, a producer says a script to one of his movies is good? Really?
That's really rare.
That doesn't happen very often. Wow.
And they're going to send it to the star of the movie?
And they, wow. No, listen, this has gotten a lot of people very excited. And not just this particular newest development, but Bruckheimer has been very steadfast, Rob. We've been talking about it for years.
It's true.
He's been steadfast that he wants to do a National Treasure 3. They got the go-ahead to develop it, and whether or not it ever actually gets a green light, we'll see. I can't imagine Nick Cage turning it down.
No.
He loves this franchise. So, I mean, yeah. So what he's talking about is that Bruckheimer today confirmed that they've got a script. They got a script. And they're going to send it to Cage, see if he likes it or whatever. And then more importantly, they're going to send it to the studio bosses to find out if they like it. So still a long way to go before any kind of a green light happens. But I mean, if you're a fan of that franchise, it's pretty good news.
Yeah. I can't wait
Who's
to see
the
it.
studio on that?
Should be Disney.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
All right, what's next?
Daniel Vakura says, John Bob Chapek is bad for creatives, purging Infinity Train, leading to its creators saying you need to pirate it now.
I'm sorry, did he just compare Infinity Train to the lineup of Disney films? I'm sorry I interrupted. Please
The problem is
continue.
Infinity Train was HBO Max, so what Bob Chapek... Anyway, Bob Chapek is bad for creatives, purging Infinity Train, leading to its creators saying you need to pirate it now, with Cartoon Network removing it completely. Yes, Queen!
Yeah. I mean, like, okay, sorry. So one is the biggest movie studio in the world where the greatest chairman in entertainment history, Bob Iger, was running it, with the greatest movie executive in history, Alan Horn, as the movie general. And they had a system set up where the creatives were the ones in charge, and they were the ones who made decisions. And then the business people made sure that what the directions the creatives were setting made financial sense and all that kind of stuff. Bob Chapek said, that's not the way we want to do things. And they completely upended everything and said, no. Now the business people, they're in charge of the creatives. The business people make the decisions now about what gets made and where it's going to go. And then the creatives have to produce whatever product the business people say. It's a complete reversal of what made Disney so successful. And in about 2 to 3 years, I think we're really going to start to see the effects of that. The decision to say, take a show something that was on HBO that nobody watched and axe it, who cares? And again, I don't mean that to be disrespectful to the people who are fans of that individual thing. I've had a lot of shows that I like that nobody else watched and they got killed. It's like, okay, that's the way it happens. And it's like the showrunner now saying, pirate it. You know how much Warner Brothers cares? This is how much they care. I take a half-eaten box of pizza and throw it in the garbage. Well, then we're going to come to your garbage and take it away. Well, what do I care? I already threw it in the garbage. That's fine. Go ahead, take it. So I don't know. I just don't. I think it's a silly comparison. But I don't know, Rob. What do you think about it?
I think he's talking about Bob Chapek at Disney, but what he really means is David Zaslav, who's taking Infinity.
No.
Train off.
He's saying like I would say that Bob Chapek at Disney was bad for creatives. Meanwhile, Zaslav at Warner Brothers is cutting a show like Infinity Train.
Yes, that's true. Well, I mean, look, the thing is, they didn't just do this willy-nilly. There's the analytics of what gets watched and what doesn't, and they removed the things that nobody was watching. So it's not the fault of David Zaslav. That's just what they did. Is we might not like it, but it's good business. Yeah. You know, I mean, they're trying to save money. We're not going to have shows. If people don't watch a network show, it gets canceled. If people don't watch other streaming shows, they get canceled.
And if any business is making a product and that product is losing the money and doesn't make the money, they stop making that product and move on to something else.
And Warner Brothers doesn't own Infinity Train. So what's the incentive?
All right, what's next?
Jay Master says, update, deadline. The Ally McBeal sequel series will follow a young black woman who joins the law firm straight out of law school. The young woman is believed to be the daughter of Ally McBeal's DA roommate, Renee Raddick.
Yeah, so we were just, by the way, thank you for tipping in $20, man. That's incredibly generous. So we were just talking off camera before the show started that, hey, man, did you hear that they're going to bring Ally McBeal back? Now, I won't care unless there are some of the original cast in there. Like the one guy, like especially the two dudes who were the heads of the firm. One has been on Grey's Anatomy recently. I don't know where the other guy has been. But I mean, I'm not saying it has to be Calista Flockhart, but I mean, it would be cool if she was in there. But you got to at least have a couple of the original characters. Otherwise, to me, it's just going to be another legal show.
Right.
But I don't know. What do you think about them trying to bring back?
I mean, look, they bring back everything else. You know, they're talking to Calista Flockhart. I mean, if they can bring it back, why not? Hey, if it's a good show.
I think she's going to be like a producer on it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So. All right.
Why not? If it's good, I'll watch it.
What's next?
Jay Master says, breaking news from Deadline. Ally McBeal sequel.
This probably came in the opposite order.
Yeah, you're probably right. But he's talking about Ally McBeal sequel in the works at Disney from Karen Gist. Calista Flockhart eyed to return.
Oh, okay, so there you go. So, okay, hopefully she would return.
Yeah.
If it does, I mean, she doesn't have to be the main character in it this time.
No.
Because she's had her day as the main character.
She's the sensei.
But as long as she's there and has a presence in there, I think that could be pretty cool.
Yeah, I do too. I liked Ally McBeal.
I loved
Maybe they'll get Robert Downey Jr. to come back.
It was, I mean, this sounds weird, but it was the first time I remember seeing two girls kiss in a network TV show. It was Ally McBeal and Charlie's Angels. And she's in Shazam. She's one of the two sisters, the villain sisters in Shazam. Come on, guys. Who am I thinking of? And she was in Kill Bill.
Yeah,
Lucy Liu. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. So like the first lesbian kiss on television I'd ever seen was Calista Flockhart and Lucy Liu.
That's because you didn't watch Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Wasn't Ally McBeal on before it?
I don't know.
I don't know either, to be honest with you.
I just want to say something about Star Trek.
Of course you did. All right, what's next?
Sam Fisher says, who do you cast as Destiny, Delirium, and Destruction in Sandman? I say Carol Struckian, Juno Temple, and Christopher Hirvu, respectfully.
Okay,
you know what?
Everybody knows what I'm going to say. Right, I don't do X actor and X role. Right. I don't do fantasy.
Yeah,
but you are more attached to this material.
Carol Struckian could be, but I don't know. I mean, I'd have to. I love who they've cast as we've now seen Dream, Death, Despair, and Desire.
And don't forget about Lucifer. And like, so that's a great. So like, if you had come to me and said, "Hey, John, who would you cast as Lucifer in Sandman?" I never would have said Gwendolyn Christie. Never would have said.
Right.
Nobody would have said Gwendolyn Christie. But they cast Gwendolyn Christie. It's like, holy shit, she rocked that. So that's why I don't personally ever do. Who would you cast as? I don't usually answer those because
I'm curious. Know. I mean, the Mason, the person they cast as Desire is amazing. That was beautiful casting. I didn't know them, so I wouldn't have picked them to be Desire. I had no idea who they were.
Right.
So I'm so glad that, I mean, Neil Gaiman, he's picking these people himself. And
I didn't know Gaiman personally chose the casting.
Well, the Mason whose Desire had texted or DM'd Neil Gaiman personally.
Really?
Yeah, and
I didn't know that
because he got the text from Mason, and Mason had performed Hedwig on like Broadway, and so they texted or DM'd Neil Gaiman directly.
Well, that's pretty cool.
This is crazy.
All right, what's next?
I follow him on Neil Gaiman on Twitter.
Yeah.
So he's been. I mean, I love following his tweets lately because it's all about the show. Old Danny Boy says, Rob, do you have the despecialized editions of Star Wars? They're as close as I've seen to the original versions of the films. Old Danny Boy, do you think that I would have pirated versions of the original Star Wars? All 3 versions, multiple copies of the various iterations of the despecialized versions. Have I burned them to Blu-ray? Absolutely not.
Of course not.
No.
By the way, every once in a while, when I have the opportunity to promote it, I don't know where, and I don't mean that facetious. I don't know where you can find it right now, but there's something. This one dude did something called the de-cheesed edition of the Star Wars prequels that are infinitely better than the theatrical versions of them. I mean, and the editing work that this guy did on the de-cheesed editions. Again, I can't remember exact. I think it's called the de-cheesed editions. It just makes those movies. It just makes them watchable. It makes them watchable. And yeah, sometimes, I mean, remember that one guy, he made the Obi-Wan edit?
Oh yeah.
He took the Obi-Wan series, edited about 45 minutes out of it, made it one movie, and it just was at least twice as good as the series was.
Agreed.
At least twice as good. So there's some really, really good stuff out there. All right, what's next?
What is next? Raymond Reddington. Do you think the Cineworld Regal will end up closing? They are my go-to cinemas. Would absolutely hate it if they do end up closing.
What do you think?
I don't think they're going to close. I don't. I think they're going to restructure. I think they might close some of their venues, but I don't think they're going to close forever.
Yeah, I mean, remember, we talked about this in the show earlier, right? Like, bankruptcy isn't, we're done. Bankruptcy is a legal mechanic that provides financial protection from your creditors for a fixed period of time that allows you the opportunity to either liquidate and sell everything and close down. Yes, but what a lot of businesses use bankruptcy for is to give them a time to restructure, bring in more financing, get the ship right, and then they can come out of bankruptcy.
Yes.
And so that's what their goal is here. So I don't think Regal's going away.
I don't either.
All right, what's next?
A fan of Peanuts says, did y'all see how far back they put Doctor Strange 2 on the timeline? It's before Hawkeye and Moon Knight. She-Hulk was put behind Miss Marvel. Cool. I haven't looked at that new timeline yet, so.
No, neither have I. I just take everything, honestly, everything has been so inconsequential to each other right now that it almost doesn't matter. But I just kind of take it as this happened, and the next thing I watch, that happened after that. And then the next thing I watch is the thing that happened next. But I don't really think it's all that important, relevant at this point.
No, but it's going to be at some point.
Well, you hope.
Yeah.
You hope at some point it becomes relevant.
I mean, I wish somebody would talk about the Eternals sticking out of the ocean. The Celestial, pardon me.
Yeah. That nearly cracked the crust of the earth. Yeah.
And did the ocean fill the hole in that the Celestial left as it was crawling out?
Did it cool out the core?
Yeah, I mean, come on now.
No, he's talking about Arsham the Judge appearing in the sky. I mean, or
all
Egyptian
the people
gods.
And all the souls on the streets of Cairo that got consumed. Whatever.
All right, what's next?
CJ Rebirth says, I'm like Rob with DVDs because that's the only way I can see Beauty and the Beast with the Human Again song, which isn't out on Disney Plus. Is that true?
That one is fair. I have that DVD.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
Did they take that song out of the movie?
So it was originally written. Here, let me scooch towards the mic.
So it was originally written for the movie, and then they scrapped it for production. They put it in the Broadway show, and then when they did the special release of the film, they animated it. It still had Jerry Orbach singing as Lumiere, which was really magical since he had passed already, but they still had the recording. But it's not on the streaming service for some reason. It's one of those lovely Disney Vault finds.
Wow, that's cool.
When we're human again.
Oh yeah, yes. All right, what's next?
Yeah, scroll down a little more. Jonathan Schultz says, do you think Chewbacca will show up in any more Star Wars projects, series, or movies? I love Wookiees.
I mean, God, what happened to Chewbacca? I honestly, I can't, like, I so
Well, they
dislike
thought
Rise of
we
Skywalker.
thought, yeah, they tried to make us believe that they killed him, but they didn't.
I couldn't remember. I can't even remember what happens to the Rise of Skywalker at this point, to be honest with you.
Nothing does happen.
I just like that movie so much. All I know is that for people who I laugh with, the people who thought, no, the extended universe should have been made canon. Yeah, they killed Chewbacca with the moon. Everybody forgets that. In the Star Wars expanded universe, they literally hit Chewbacca with a moon.
It's true.
And that's how he died. I'm not kidding. That's it. Like the extended, there was some really good stuff in the expanded universe. There was.
Yeah.
There really, really was. But everybody conveniently forgets the majority of it was drivel. The majority of the Star Wars expanded universe stuff was utter garbage. And this is like, I read all of it. and like every time I'd pick up one, dude, this is how bad it got for me. I started preferring Star Trek novels over Star Wars novels.
What do you mean? This is how bad it got.
I mean, because
Star Trek novels are great.
I mean that as a Star Wars guy,
right.
as a thoroughly Star Wars guy, I started getting more interested in like fucking next generation novels and stuff like that than I was with
a lot of
Star
good
Wars
ones.
stuff. Again, there was some gold in there, the Yuzang Vong stuff, the Grand Admiral Thrawn stuff, like that, some Rogue Squadron stuff, but there was a lot of bad stuff in there.
Don't you like Death Troopers or the Star Wars zombie special? Come on, man.
What's next?
Jay Master says, have you guys watched the new Star Wars Lego special Summer Vacation? It's really good. Plus, John, favorite singer Weird Al makes a voice cameo in the special.
Here's the thing. A little while ago, Disney Plus put out another Star Wars Lego special. It was the first one they put out after Disney. And I watched about 5 minutes of it. And I'm like, this is terrible. It's so bad. And I'm the guy, I like Lego movies and I love Star Wars, so you'd think this would have been an automatic win. And I watched about 5 minutes of I can't do this. Click. And I had to, so no, I did not see the summer special. Maybe it's fantastic, but I couldn't watch. Have you watched any of that?
No.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I know.
All right, what's next?
It's not real. It's Lego. Cali Royale 92 says, last one just for support.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you, Callie. Appreciate that very much.
Very nice.
And you know what? You can read the next one as I tag out and let Chris come in to take us home here.
I'll do just that.
Okay.
Cash sends in a super chat and says, I watched Secret Headquarters last night. I thought Pena was hilarious. I just wish him and Owen Wilson would have had more to do. The water fountain bit killed. Have you seen, Chris, Secret Headquarters?
I have.
And did you enjoy it?
I mean, it's fine.
No.
It's fine. That's what you want people to say about a movie, right? Is that it?
Boy, when I hear a girl say it's fine, it's just like
and in
kiss
that
of
tone
death.
and cadence.
Wow, I never want to hear a girl say that to me like that.
It was fine.
Oh, wow.
It's fine.
Flashbacks.
Oh. No one's ever said that to me like that before.
Good for you, man.
I come with a money back guarantee. Oh, just
You're
kidding.
getting paid?
Movie Fan 109 sends a $20 super chat.
Aw.
Movie Fan says, so rewatched She-Hulk and discovered that she's 6'7" and then saw Shaq's 7'1". How can this man be taller than a Hulk?
He can and he is.
That's true.
That's
He's
how
Shaq.
he's made, yeah.
Anybody with 4 letters can be as tall as they want to be.
That's why I'm this height. I chose this.
Yep, there you go. You made it happen.
Yeah. It's like 5'6". That's where I want to stop.
And after all, wasn't Shaq steel?
Yes, he was.
So, Shaq, but there you go. He was during the reign of the Superman that John Henry, he had his own. So,
Where's that remake? Come on.
I don't know, man.
Let's go.
I don't know.
We're seeing John Henry a little bit on Superman and Lois, but where's the feature film?
I don't know. Because, bring Shaq back.
Bring Shaq back.
Hashtag bring Shaq
Shaq Attack. Did you ever play Shaq Fu?
No.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my gosh. I need to bring that game in. It's so fun.
I'd never played it.
Oh, we can maybe play it on. Well, no, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, sorry.
Josh Becker says, I'm like Rob. I collect physical media, which lets me also have a digital copy, and I can sell the disc if I don't like it and still have the digital. Josh, I give my digital copies away.
Aww.
I just give them away. You want this movie? Here you go. Take the digital copy. I know somebody's going like, what? But I'm never going to download some digital copy when I've got a beautiful disc that I can stick in a machine with unbelievable sound and picture.
Don't you still get that with the digital?
Not as well.
Okay.
It's not as good. Well,
all right.
Whatever. Okay. Cali Royale 92 says, better movie, Morbius or 2015's Fantastic Four?
Oh, 2015's Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I'm going to say that too. Fantastic.
Listen, the first act of Fantastic Four was actually not bad.
Agree.
Right, I agree.
Actually okay.
And it's the sequel where you get the dance number. So the first one, I think, is fine.
No,
that's the 25th. That's the
Oh,
other.
that's the
after
other one.
Tim
Oh
story.
shoot!
The
No,
other
this
one.
is the one. This is the one with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that one was fine.
It's fine.
It was
Yeah,
fine.
it was fine.
It's better than it's not.
And Morbius was not fine. Morbius was
no.
laughably bad. I had such a good time being like, what the fuck is this movie?
I mean, Morbid time will never go away.
No.
Morbid time is lost
Roughing
time.
those Capri Suns.
Oh man. Alec Oliver sends in a super chat. Just got into my dream university in London to study history and politics of the Americas. Oh God, do you really want to study that? The John Campea Show had kept me sane throughout the last 2 years, being my moment of relaxation every day. Well, congratulations. Getting into your dream university is always awesome.
That's huge.
It's huge. And in London,
Oh my
I can't
gosh.
imagine a better place to go to university. You get a great education and you have the best pubs in the world.
True.
And they don't expect you to tip there.
And you don't have to tip. And if you want even better pubs, Ireland isn't that far away.
So close. Hop, skip,
He's
and
going to have a
jump.
great time. Alec, you enjoy that college time because it's going to be one of the best times of your life. Ryan Ramirez says, love the show, John. Thanks for all y'all do.
Aw, thanks, Ryan.
That's very nice.
That's real sweet.
Thank you. Frankie Gouge says, one of the most surprising things from The Offer is how Hogan's Heroes, just 20 years after World War II, actually became a TV show. More impressive to me than how Getting the Godfather was made. Or Getting the Godfather made. You know what? It's funny because I don't think that I ever knew that Al produced or created Hogan's Heroes. I didn't realize that he worked for the Rand Corporation.
Yeah.
And then created the show and just kind of weaseled his way into the entertainment business. I love that about that show. I thought it was great. I mean, Albert S. Ruddy, what a guy. He can do anything.
Yeah.
Josh Becker says, it's almost time for my Lord of the Rings extended edition rewatch.
Hell yes.
Are you going to do it in one day? See,
gotta.
that's what impresses me.
You do it all in one day and you have Hobbit meals throughout.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually used to throw it would start as a breakfast party. So I'd have friends over and we'd do all three extended.
Yeah.
And I'd have coffee and a whole spread of breakfast and everything out. And then it would be then we'd
Second
read
breakfast.
second breakfast basically because you couldn't
11Zs.
finish all of it.
Yeah.
And then we'd take a walk around the block and we'd order food and then watch the third one. And it was all day.
All day.
That's the way to go.
Daryl Best Wadley says, did you see the trailer for the Tyson Hulu series?
Yes.
I did. It looks good.
It looks very good.
I'll watch that.
That looks so compelling.
So compelling. Yeah. Hulu's crushing it.
They really are.
Mike Tyson story, he was crushing his life. So it's going to be good to watch that show. A fan of Peanuts says, will Anne be doing any of these after shows like before? I don't know, John, will she?
On one or two selected ones that she has predetermined. Yes. Announcements to come.
All right.
Well done. Happy wife, happy life.
Daryl Best Wadley says, I wish they would make another 21 Jump Street film.
Those were fun.
Would that be 23 Jump Street now?
Yeah.
They were going to do a crossover. They were going to do 23 Jump Street and Men in Black.
Yeah.
I would really have loved to have seen that.
That would have been hilarious.
Couldn't have been any worse than the Men in Black they came out with.
This is very true.
It
It's not
couldn't have
good.
been. Not good. Not good.
Where's the 21 mils?
CJ Rebirth sends in a super chat and says, have y'all seen the South Park movie and COVID streaming specials? I love all the songs, jokes, and a montage that has a Kelly Clarkson song almost made me cry when I first watched it. Hashtag favors the brave. Have you seen those?
Any of this? I feel like this is a Ray Aura question.
I haven't seen, I mean, I love South Park, but I haven't seen those things.
I fell off the boat with South Park many moons ago.
Really? Why?
I just stopped watching it. Ray was showing me stuff the other day because I do that Butters voice. So he was like, you have to watch the one where he's a pimp. And now when I see Ray, I'm like, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yes, I do know what you're saying.
Butters is a pimp. I want to see that now.
It was great.
Frankie Gouge says, watching Blazing Saddles. What are your favorite Mel Brooks?
Ooh. I mean, Spaceballs is wonderful.
Spaceballs.
It's so good. I love Young Frankenstein.
Yeah,
my
Young
favorite.
Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles and probably High Anxiety are my favorites.
Ooh, yeah.
I'd go Young Frankenstein and The History of the World.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, History of the World's good, too.
Anytime
The
Madeline Kahn's there.
Inquisition. Actually, I think that's Monty Python. But, hey, it is. Okay, it's History of the World. Got it. Movie Fan 109 says, Rob, how can I send you physical media? Somebody wants to send me even more. Yeah, more
Very
physical
carefully.
media. Slide into my DMs and we'll chat on Twitter. But what kind of physical media are you going to send me? Something I don't already have?
Something appropriate.
I hope so. Suthius says, what is the one movie where you just love no matter what anyone else says or thinks about you? For me, it's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I love that movie.
Ooh. I'm trying to think of a movie that I love that people hate.
For me, it's Tough Turf.
Oh.
I love Tough Turf. I don't care what anyone says.
I mean, I did this at Disneyland yesterday where I went on like a 30-minute rant of why Beauty and the Beast is one of the greatest pieces of filmmaking of all time.
Yeah, but
everyone loves that.
Loves Beauty
yeah.
and the Beast.
So I can't think of something that is really shitty that
I told you this one
only I
before.
love.
For me, it's the pirate movie.
Oh,
If
yeah?
people either don't know what it is, or they're like,
Wait, with Christy McNichol?
Yep, and they're like, that's the
Wow.
movie in the world, or they don't know what it is. And I love it.
Wow.
I love the pirate movie.
Wow, that's okay. And you know what? You're a better man for it. Alex Von Gollum says, hi, everyone. Tech question. Have you got any MacBook with the M2 chip? If so, what's your experience been? Have a great weekend. I have one with an M1 chip that John acquired for me, but not an M2 chip. John, do you have an M2 Mac yet?
No, the M2s have only come out for the MacBook Airs and the lightweight 13-inch MacBook Pros. They haven't come out with the real MacBook Pros with the M2 chips yet. So you have a Mac, an M1 Pro MacBook Pro,
Right.
And we've got a couple of M1 Mac Studios. But I'm not going to buy an M2 Mac until like one of the MacBook Pros or one of the new Studios comes out with it.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. And I guess now we've just got support. We've got Marie Seifring sending in support. V sending in support. That DC girl. And the lovely Connie Sang.
Birthday week, Connie sang.
Takes us home.
Woo!
Connie's now 40.
Which is bananas to me.
You're never supposed to ask a woman her age or her weight.
Announce a woman's
No,
age.
she wrote. She wrote into us.
She did.
She wrote into us.
She told us it's
But
her.
Connie legit looks like a 21-year-old. So like,
Yeah,
get it,
she
girl.
does. She does. But yeah, no, I would not. She already outed herself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
On the John Campea Show, actually.
On the
Yeah.
John Campea Show, yes.
True story.
The lovely Connie Sang.
Well, that'll do it for open mic. John, do you want to come over and say bye to everybody, or do you want me to do it? Okay, yay! Well, hey, thanks so much for being here, you guys. We love it when you come for these freewheeling discussions with us, and we couldn't do it without you and your support. So thank you very much. On behalf of every single person here in the room, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett,
Hi.
where can people find you?
You can find me in the Insane Asylum.
Yep.
No, you can find me on Twitter at BurnettRM, find me on Instagram at RMBurnett, or find me at postgeeksingularity.com or the same YouTube channel.
We have producer Jonathan in the back, whose Twitter handle is Sonic if you want it. Where else can they find you, Jonathan? There's not a camera.
Monday on the John Campea Show.
Yay! You can find, there's some guy named John Campea who works here too. I don't know, he's in the back of the room right now.
I'll be on the show Monday.
And my name is Chris Carr. Thanks so much, you guys. Have an excellent, excellent weekend. Be kind to one another, and we will see you on Monday for the John Campea Show.
And the House of the Dragon after show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Where
about.
in theory, some special has been delivered for all of us.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm excited. We'll see you guys then. Thanks so much.